OIS audience. We are here with yet another interview for the Rob and Jay Show. And in an effort to mix it up from some of the other interviews, we have decided to go to handheld mics, which is the big development in the interview for this one. This is special.
We wore out the battery.
We did literally wear out the battery. So we are privileged here to have yet another leader in the ophthalmology space, someone who both Jay and I have interacted with in many stages of her career in many different roles. And we will today be talking about her newest role. Jay, please.
The one and only Cari Stone, who is the Senior Vice President at one of the most amazing companies right now in glaucoma, very innovative, and at Elios. So I have one connection to her that you don't.
I'm sure there's many, but go ahead.
She went to a great business school.
Oh, yeah?
Fuqua.
That's right.
We're both Blue Devils.
And pronounce it right, by the way.
Well,
it always gets
my son went there, so I'm semi-connected
You are
to the
connected.
to you guys. I still watch Duke basketball. But yes, congratulations. You one-upped me again.
Yeah.
Yet again, Jay is one
So,
up.
Cari, welcome to OIS. Tell
you.
us what's new at Elios.
Yeah,
Well,
so
hold on a second. Before we get to Elios, sorry. Tell everybody a little bit about your past, because, you know, Jay and I have known you for many years, and it's not, this is a new endeavor for you. And we've interviewed some people who have made similar transition that you've made recently, and I think it's a theme that we should be discussing on these interviews.
We also work together at Allergan.
Well, let's,
Jay and I go way back.
That's right.
so tell us a little about your path.
Yeah, so I think that's a really good point. So I did go to Duke for business school, and right out of Duke, I entered biopharma marketing. I worked for Allergan in oncology, actually, for 8 years before I made the switch to ophthalmology, which I'm so glad I did. Back in 2016, I joined Allergan, where I worked with Jay on the glaucoma drops business. So obviously a very established portfolio, Lumigan, Alphagan, Comagan, marketing that, and really continuing to drive revenue in an environment where reimbursement pressures and the trend towards generic was incredibly difficult. And then I had the opportunity to launch Zen for more advanced stage glaucoma, the MIGS device, with Todd and Aziz. And then I did a quick stint on Botox Therapeutics before I left and went to Alcon to restart their surgical glaucoma business. And we did that through the acquisition of Ivantis and the Hydrus Microstent. And I was fortunate enough to run that entire integration and integrate about 150 employees into Alcon. And now they have not only established their surgical franchise with the Hydrus Microstent, but they've built on just purchasing Belkin and the Voyager DSLT technology. So it's been really exciting to see how that business has actually grown from nothing, or the recall of CyPass, to now a two-piece portfolio that's really strong, and a strong sales force in the marketplace. And then the big transition for me, one that I've been considering for a while, but was hesitant for a variety of reasons, including just personal risk, was going to the startup world. And I think I got the startup bug when I was at Ivantis and I was integrating Ivantis into Alcon. I saw how innovative and nimble and excited folks were to be there and to be bringing something new to the marketplace that had an unmet need. And the culture was just very different. And so when I had the opportunity to join Elios, we have an excimer laser for the treatment of glaucoma, nothing like it on the market today. And we have an all-star team.
Of people capital.
It is.
Shield's done a great job, both at Ivantis and
Yep.
the company.
Yep. An all-star team of folks I worked with before. So Patrick Green is our president, and he ran Aquasys, which was later acquired by Allergan. And then Frank Shields was at Ivantis, and now he's our head of sales. So we have a great team, a great product, and a bright future.
It's an interesting path, and we'll talk more about Elios' technology in a minute. But we hear this a lot about how you hone your skills and your relationships inside ophthalmology, which is a very tight, cohesive network of people, and then something about the entrepreneurial spirit grabs certain people and kind of yanks them out. And it's great for us, especially on the investment side of the world, because we know that you've been in this place for a long time. And even though maybe in a new business, a different company, different technology, ophthalmology requires a knowledge of ophthalmology. That's right. It's a very, very compact space that requires these interpersonal relationships, connections, prior experiences to be able to navigate the complexities of getting a very, sort of highly focused, perfectionist clinical world to adopt something new. So we hear this a lot, and that's why we're so glad that somebody like you's kind of stepped out into it and is helping propagate that entrepreneurial environment, especially here.
That's right. I mean, Rob's glaucoma, I'm anterior segment. We do a lot of MIGs in the New York, New Jersey area. I love it. It's my passion. But don't we already have enough MIGs out there? What makes you differentiated? What makes you wake up in the morning and say, you know what? What's great out there is awesome, but we are different.
Yeah, I think there's two things, right? Glaucoma is a chronic disease, and patients are going to need multiple things along their journey, and surgeons need to be able to customize their approach to the needs of the patient. Right. And so I think the more MIGs that are in the market, the better for patients, the better for surgeons. What we do have is truly differentiated. It's an excimer laser that makes 210 micron channels in the trabecular meshwork, which allows outflow into Schlemm's canal. It is a highly adoptable procedure. I've worked on Hydrus, and Hydrus is a great device, but it takes 15 to 20 cases to master. And I think we heard today in the session that 65% of cataract surgeons are not using MIGs today. They're on the sidelines. And one of the reasons they are is because of the learning curve or the time it takes to do the procedure. And the Elios procedure has a much shorter learning curve. We think about 3 to 5 cases for someone to become proficient. I mean, Jay, you've
even Jay could do it.
Jay has done the procedure, so he can.
That's my appeal. Wait a second, you can do it. We can definitely.
That's our new campaign. If Jay can do it. I don't need a job.
Can you tell people a little bit about the procedure? Because we know what you're saying, and I think there's an audience of people that probably understand an excimer laser, but this is kind of unique because
very unique.
It's really MIGS, but it's not really, because it's really non-invasive, right? I mean, it's really as minimally invasive as it could be.
Yeah, so our first indication in the U.S. will be for combo cataract surgery, and we use a probe. We go through the cataract incision, and then you simply make these small, precise microchannels by depressing a foot pedal, and it exerts the laser energy into the trabecular meshwork. So it's very incredibly precise, and then you just move over a probe's tip and repeat the process, depress the laser again, and do that 10 times over the course of like 90 to 120 clock hours.
Yeah.
And then you
done.
Pull out and zip.
Done.
Yeah.
Time to do that?
Yeah, it's done at the time of cataract surgery. Officially, the laser does need to be calibrated and such. And
right. And what about in terms of visualization? How does the visualization occur?
Very similar to other mixed procedures with the use of a gonio lens.
Right.
So visualization is going to be key, but as long as you have the right view, any cataract surgeon can do this.
So I'm disqualified, is that what you're saying?
Ambidexterity. We went to med school together.
I've actually seen folks do the Elios procedure and switch hands. Yeah, so that they can get those last few shots in.
You were on a panel where they said that this year we're going to top 5 million cataract surgeries, but you said something so brilliant. A lot of surgeons keep value on the table by not taking care of glaucoma patients that are undergoing cataract surgery. So talk to us about that.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's something like 400,000 MIGS procedures that are conducted on that, like roughly.
Right.
But the opportunity is about 1 million.
I know.
And so, yes, you have a ton of surgeons on the sidelines. I think we believe at Elios that is because the right product for them has not come to the market. Right. And we believe that we can, if our slogan isn't even Jay could do it, then maybe our slogan is MIGS for the masses, and this idea that any cataract surgeon can do it, and they should for the benefit of their patient, and just to offer more procedures, at the time of cataract surgery.
Right.
Well, you're also, look, there is some degree of, there are some people who don't like putting in implants for glaucoma, right? You know that, and we all know that. So having an implant-free procedure is, I think, attractive to those people who, whether it's procedural fear or having to explain to patients about an implant, there's plenty of reasons why people would avoid doing a procedure. This is, you're performing an outflow procedure without having anything left behind.
Yeah, you're not leaving anything behind, and I think patients and doctors think lasers are sexy.
Right.
So in terms of patient appeal, explaining that you're doing a laser compared to leaving something behind could be very appealing.
Right, and glaucoma, we've discussed this in the glaucoma world. This is an outflow disease.
Right.
It's glaucoma is not because you make too much fluid. It's because you can't get fluid out of the eye.
Yeah.
Right? That's where pressure reduction needs to come from. So this is a natural expression of trying to improve outflow from the eye, minimally invasive with, technology that doesn't require you to put anything in the eye to achieve that goal.
That's right.
That's novel.
And the other thing I think that's interesting about our technology is we advise to make 10 microchannels in the trabecular meshwork, but we say we have 10 shots on goal, right? So you're very likely to hit the collector channels because you have 10 shots. With that said, if you don't get all 10 in, they're still each 210 microns. So you're getting a lot of flow,
right,
even if you put 7 microchannels in.
That's right.
Opposed to some of the technology on the marketplace.
Correct.
You've had I've been watching your career, a great career at all the different companies you mentioned. Unfortunately, for decades, this is male dominated. To have leaders like yourself at a senior position to help guide and inspire other folks to come to fray. And it's great to see the push towards, something that's all encompassing, and having leaders like yourself that are role models. Allergan, for sure, Alcon, and now here at Elios. It's really, really accolades to you.
Thanks for pointing that out. I think, and I want to give a shout out to Jeanette Bankus, who was actually my boss at Alcon, and a huge advocate for growing female leaders, not just at Alcon, but within ophthalmology. And so I think it's on us, it's on myself, it's on people like Jeanette to continue to grow and mentor other young women.
That's right.
So that they can sit in the seat 5-10 years from now, and hopefully balance it out a little bit more. But the onus is on us.
Yeah. Well, it's impressive what you've done personally and professionally, and we really want you to win, and we want Elios to win. It's going to really impact our practices. The next 1,000 patients, we know for a fact, when thinking about MIGS, will be treated differently. So I believe, I'm very bullish about everything in the armamentarium to take care of these patients in the most holistic way. It is definitely good for the patient. So,
thanks, Cari.
Thanks for having me.
Listen, thank you. Thanks for everything you've done. It's been great to have known you during this whole journey, and we're looking forward to seeing Elios be a big success.
Many more years together.
All right.
Okay.
Thanks, OIS audience.
Bye.